right, guys, welcome to a brand new episode of SideQuest Podcast. Listen in and level up. I have a great episode for you today, but first, as always, let's get through the show notes. If you're not following the Facebook page, head over to Facebook, type SideQuest Fitness into the search bar, and like the page. There, you're going to get updates on podcast episodes, articles when they get posted, and you're going to get a brand new taco recipe every Tuesday for taco camp. Plus lots of other shenanigans and nerd talk throughout the week, so make sure you head over to Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. My handle is SideQuestFM. If you want to see some cool videos and random stuff on Instagram as well, you can follow me on Instagram, same handle, SideQuestFM, or follow me on Snapchat, SideQuestFit. Follow me there. Send me your questions. I want to get all the questions from you, help you as much as I can on your fitness journey or your journey in life, whatever it may be. But head over to Snapchat, SideQuestFit. Follow me there. You get a little more personal, in-depth look at the shenanigans I get into throughout every day. But I do love getting questions from the community, so please send them out to me. If you have not left a review for the podcast, please head over to iTunes. If you're not listening on iTunes and you listen on SoundCloud or Stitcher, leave a review there as well. When you leave reviews, it helps me move up the charts on the iTunes store so that more people can see and hear the amazing guests that I've had on and have on each and every single week. So make sure you head over there. And don't forget, if you haven't picked up your copy of the 7 Principles of Fat Loss, head over to sidequestfitness.com/7 principles, and you can pick up your copy of the 7 Principles of Fat Loss. These are the same 7 principles I follow each and every day and teach my clients to help them shred away more body fat, unlock heroic strength, and just look better naked. So if you want to unlock strength or just look better naked in the mirror, head over again, grab those 7 principles of fat loss, and start following those today. All right, I have a great episode for you. Today, we're going to talk about building muscle. It's bulk season, baby. Winter is here, or I guess for some people, winter is still coming. It doesn't show up in Georgia until like fucking mid-January, if even. But winter is here. Most people have entered a bulk. Their summer cut is over with. It's time to gain muscle and put on some sexy, sexy slabs of that beautiful lean mass. But here's the problem. There are some issues that people run into, and that's what I'm going to cover in today's episode. So as 2016 winds down, as 2017 comes in, if your goal is to put on more mass, or maybe you just want to go on some fat loss schemes to get you through the holiday, or you just want to lose weight, feel better, put on a little muscle, maybe you just want to feel better. Maybe you just want to get stronger. Whatever your goal is, I still have some open slots in my coaching program. So check that out, sidequestfitness.com, and click on online coaching. If you want to gamify your fitness experience, okay? If you want to turn it into a game and discover the exciting boss battles that all of my clients get to go through. If you want to get lean, get strong, or maybe again, you want to bulk up this winter, head over to sidequestfitness.com and apply for my coaching program and let me help guide you. Let me be your Gandalf on your quest. All right, guys, let's get in. Let's talk about the reasons you're not gaining muscle. And I've got about 7 with maybe an 8th one I'll throw in at the end.
Step up and you gotta get it fitness. Host Rob at the moment and the quest is you gotta check it and wreck it. You're breaking personal records and with the help of the guests you won't be guessing on the lessons. That's a +5 fierce. Got a low-key bamf right here. You wanna meet him, there's no better way to greet him than to strike a boss pose. Take a look into the mirror.
Winter is here, and it is everyone's favorite time of the year. It's the year when gym bros like myself, maybe a giant nerd, but there's still a little, I'm a Screech, but there's still an AC Slater inside of me. It's the time of year we always get excited. We've leaned down, we got shredded for summer. You let the abs rock out, or maybe you didn't get super, super lean, but you lost a little weight, and now you're ready to put on some muscle. Plus, let's be honest, it's winter. It's fucking cold, and you're always layered up. And in bulk season, you can add a little bit. You can feel a little warmer. Plus all the best foods. Mac and cheese, Potato soup. I mean, come on. If you're going to have soup, you got to put some potatoes in it, some chicken noodle. You got like all the best stuff. Plus, it is winter, and there is a certain little thing that does tend to happen when there's less sunlight. You tend to crave carbs more. And a lot of that has to do with the winter blues. It is a condition that many people do suffer from, but that's due to a lack of sunlight, but also to a lack of serotonin. So to get those happy feelings, carbs boost serotonin levels in the body. So a lot of times in the winter, you're like, oh man, why do I just want to eat bread and pasta and sweet potatoes and all the carby goodness? Well, just naturally how we evolved. That is one thing, but that's not one reason. Let's go into it. The 8 reasons, 7. I'm going to give you 7, but I might have a bonus one for you. 7 reasons you're not gaining muscle. So you're in the gym, you're doing the work, but you're not seeing the results. Your weight hasn't moved on the scale, minus maybe a couple of pounds due to water weight and some extra carbs you had or a night of debauchery. The scale's not moving. You're taking measurements. That's the best way to see progress. Take measurements with a Taylor's tape, but you're not seeing any. Going on the arms, what's going on? Like you feel a little stronger, but you're not seeing it. You're not seeing the gains. Well, here's the 7 reasons you're probably screwing up, and the reasons you're not seeing the gains. Number 1, we're going to start with training because it always usually starts with training. You're not getting enough volume. Look, you got to turn it up to 11. All right, I'm going to go spinal tap on you. All right, you have to turn it up to 11. When it comes to fat loss, the diet is the main driver. So you're in a caloric deficit. You already don't have enough energy. So your workouts, they're intense, sure. But they're intense because you don't have the energy. Doing them while you're at maintenance, probably not as difficult. But here's the thing. Here's the main difference. When it comes to building muscle, you have got to put volume on the muscle. You got to put it under strain. So the 5x5 stuff, starting strength is a great program when you start training. Great. And if you're trying to maintain and you want to hit one strength thing throughout the day, throughout each program, fine, hit some strength. But if you're really trying to get hypertrophy and really get those muscles swollen and get them big, you got to hit more volume. You can't just do 20, 25 total reps, 5 sets of 5, 25 total reps. You need to be doing at least 40 to 50, 60, if not like 75 total reps. So you want to be doing like 4 sets of 8 for like a moderate weight. If you even want to go lighter, 4 sets of 12, 3 sets of 15, 4 sets of 20. Like even if you go lighter, that's really going to get the volume pumped, really put the muscle under some strain and really cause the muscle tissue damage that you need for your body to get in there and repair it and rebuild that muscle. Now, you're not going to do 4 sets of 20 at 500 pounds on the squat. No, you're going to take lighter weights. You're going to do more moderate things. But you still want to shock that muscle. You want to give it enough volume. You want to tear it down so you can build it back up. And just doing 3 sets of 10 might not be enough. You got to do a little more. Turn that volume up. That also means that volume can mean, in one day, you might train for an hour and a half. You might train, let's say 3 days a week, 4 days a week at 90 minutes. You can get a lot of volume in on those days. Or you can still do 45 to 60 minutes, but you need to do it 5 or 6 days a week. Last winter, I was in the gym 6 days a week. Chest, shoulders were rotated like every couple of days. Lower body, hips, back, arms, all of it. But you got to get in there. You got to put in the volume. You got to do that if you want to really add the muscle. Now, that doesn't mean that if you're fairly new to training, you're not going to add muscle. But if you've been training for a while, you got to turn the volume up. Here's the other reason. You're not varying your rep range. So like I said in number 1, not enough volume. You're too focused on 5x5. You're doing 3 sets of 8, 4 sets of 8. You're doing with like 3 sets of 10. You got to vary it up. You got to hit, you can start and do some strength. Strength is always the base. Before you ever bulk, before you do anything, and you can do this while you're leaning down and dieting, get strong. Strength is the key. It is a key determinant according to numerous studies for longevity of life, for keeping more lean mass as you get older, for maintaining power and strength as you get older. Strength is the key. The more weight you can move, the more calories you can burn, the more muscles you'll use, the more muscles you break down, the more you can build. Get fucking strong, always. But you got to vary your rep ranges. This is why bodybuilders do crazy things like they've got 4 sets of 15. I mean, I remember last year doing, oh God, it was lateral raises or maybe front raises, something for shoulders. 4 sets of 15. I wasn't doing a lot of weight, but 4 sets of 15, that's 60 reps, 60 total reps. Probably about 3 times more than what I was normally doing for most things. If you're only doing 4 sets of 8, that's 32 reps. That's double. So you gotta vary the rep ranges. 4 sets of 15. Try sets of 12 to 20. 12 to 20. So 3 or 4 sets of 12 to 20 reps. Again, you're not going heavy weight. You're really focusing on just getting the volume in, working the muscle as much as you can. So anywhere from 8 to 20 reps is where you want to focus. But if you really want to get the volume, you really want to get some work in on that muscle and really tear it down, 12 to 20 reps is perfect for that. But you got to vary those rep ranges. You can't just do one set of, reps of 1 to 5, and you can't just do, 5 to 10. So you got to vary it. You can have all of those, have a few strength, then have some hypertrophy, but really focus on getting all the rep ranges that you can. Another reason, and really this we're going to get out of training a little bit. This is the number one reason why you're not putting on muscle, why you're not bulking, why you're not able to increase muscle mass. You got to eat. I know. I struggle with this. Like, you don't want to eat because you know that if you eat more calories, you're like, well, shit, then I'm going to get fat. Here's the truth. Unless you really want to take the long stretch, and it's a process, it's a road. But something like lean gains might take years to add a few pounds of lean mass. And that's staying relatively lean, which being lean is good. The leaner you are, the more insulin sensitive you are, the more that insulin is going to put all those nutrients back into your muscles. The more fat you carry, the less sensitive you are, the more easier it is for your body to store that as fat. So it's always good to lean down, then bulk up. But after you get lean, you enjoy that look. I struggle with it. I struggled with it last year. I was like, oh man, but I got lean. I got really good looking. Like I could see my abs, but now I'm eating all this food and my abs have gone away. It's just something you got to deal with. You just got to do it. But if you're training 5 days a week and you're only eating 2,200 calories, not enough. Not enough. Your body needs excess calories to build muscle. Those calories can come from fats, carbs, and protein. That's where all your calories come from. There are a few strategies that you can do to limit fat gain. So something like keeping a very high carbohydrate diet like I had last year, 600 grams a day with very low fat, is going to keep your body from taking that excess fat calories that you have. So let's say your body only needs about 40 grams of fat a day for basic cellular function. Well, if you're ingesting if you're ingesting another 20 or 30 grams and you're ingesting 600 grams of carbs, it's easier for your body to store fats as fat because they're already the cellular structure they need. They don't have to do any converting like they do with carbs and protein. They don't have to waste energy to store those. They can just store it. So your body will more easily store that. So keeping fats a little lower can help you limit the fat gain, overall fat gain. You've heard people do dirty bulks. They just eat everything they can, all the cheeseburgers, everything, all of it. And then they usually gain a little fat. They get big, but they gain some fat. So that is a process you can implement as well. My good friend Mike Vacanti has been doing it. I know Greg O'Gallagher has done it. I did it last year, 600 grams of carbs. But you're not eating enough. That's the number one reason why you aren't putting on size and getting more muscular. You're simply just not eating enough. Now, another reason that you aren't putting on size, you're not gaining muscle, and this is something that People don't really talk about it a lot, but it's so important to life. It's so, so important. And I wrote an article on this as well. So if you check the show notes over at sidequestfitness.com, you can find this. And I believe it's just sidequestfitness.com/sleep. Sleep. If you aren't recovering, if you're not giving your body the recovery that it needs, and you're not sleeping enough, you're fucking it up. You're not going to build muscle. Now, I'll talk about recovery in a second, but let me talk about sleep. So sleep is important because that is where your body is able to go into a sort of hibernation mode and is able to really build that muscle back. And so if you have like a physically active job, you're moving your muscles, maybe you train after work or maybe you train before work, you're still moving muscles. You're still moving your body. Your muscles are still using energy. When you're asleep, your body's able to get in there and start repairing those muscles and really start to build that. Plus it allows, your nervous system time to ease, and sleep is just so beneficial for so much of your life. So especially when you're bulking, something I did last year, I made sure that I was getting 7 hours of sleep a night. If you aren't getting enough sleep, it will impact your lifts. It will impact your mood. And if your mood is shitty and your mind is shitty, then your workouts are going to be shitty, and then you're just not going to build muscle. So make sure you're getting plenty of sleep. When it comes to recovery, make sure do not skip mobility. Do not skip the things that will keep you mobile. You see a lot of times guys get really big and they can't move as well. Continue doing your foam rolling. Continue doing your mobility exercises, your warm-ups. Don't skip the warm-ups because you're trying to get through your workout. But recovery also applies to off days. So yes, I was training 6 days a week last year. And yes, I was off technically 1 day out of that. But that's why I was also rotating. So I would have chest and shoulders on, say, Monday. The next day was hamstrings and back. The next day was quads, like just straight quads. Then I would go back to chest and shoulders. So I'm getting a little bit of residual workout the second day, with shoulders while I'm rowing or doing some rows or doing any work like that, and a little bit, of chest, just moving things around. But I'm not working those every single day. You've got to give those muscle groups time to recover. So make sure that when you are recovering, you're spreading your days out. Chest on Monday, and then maybe do it again on Thursday. Do back on Tuesday, then do it again on Friday. Give yourself at least 48 hours for all of that to recover. Plenty of sleep, plenty of good post-workout nutrition. That's also a part of recovery. But on your off days, just walk. Don't even do any cardio unless your coach has programmed that in. But just do some light walking, do some foam rolling, something just to keep you sort of moving. But don't go hog wild. Take a rest day. You're going to need it. Trust me. Number 5, another reason why you aren't gaining muscle. You're not consistent. Inconsistency. You're not getting in there and you're not constantly working every single day. You might go Monday and Wednesday. And the next week you go Tuesday and Thursday. And then the next week you might just make it on Wednesday. If your muscles aren't constantly having to be broken down and rebuilt, you're not giving the body the stimulus that it needs to build the muscle that you want. So you've got to be consistent. And consistency applies to fat loss. It applies to athleticism. It applies to gaining muscle. It applies to diet. Consistency is one of my 7 principles of fat loss, but it's really 7 principles of life. Whatever you're trying to do, be consistent at it. Every single day, I write. So I don't have to publish every day, but in some capacity, I write for at least 30 minutes. Same thing with reading. Be consistent. Now, we're going to get into a couple more things. So I've gone over, you're not working out enough, you're not getting enough volume, not getting enough reps. You're not varying your rep ranges. You're staying, 5 to 10, 5 to 8. You got to take the rep ranges higher to get more work on the muscle. Simply put, really the number one reason, you just don't eat enough. You're not eating enough all around. And if you're not giving your body the energy it needs to repair and to build the muscle, well, it's not going to build the muscle. Inconsistency is also another thing as well. You're not staying consistent. You're not recovering. You're not sleeping enough, not doing your mobility. Continue doing your mobility. Recover. Give your muscles at least 48 hours to sort of recover and recoup from the days that you've been working them, and then advance on, a few days later. These are a couple other things that I personally believe. One thing, and this is something I had to do last year, and it's something I really, really encourage everyone to do. I will link an article that I wrote for Roman Fitness Systems about this last year. Look, you got to slow it down. You got to slow down. You are going through your workouts like Speedy Gonzalez. The mind-muscle connection. You've probably heard this before. When you lack the mind-muscle connection, when you're not in tune with what you're doing, you're not going to be working the weight the way you should. You're not going to be tuned into your body. So if you're doing a bicep curl and you're just kind of curling, you're not really thinking about it, you might be using more of your shoulder. You might not really be isolating that bicep. You might not really be getting, all that bicep hit. Same thing with a bench, same thing with squat, anything. Think about the muscles. Think about the muscles that you're using. Like, look at them. If you're doing a bicep curl, look at that bicep and really watch it work. Really feel it. Slow it down with some lighter weight and really connect your mind to that muscle. There's a great enzyme in your body called acetylcholine. And what acetylcholine does is it is the stimulus, it's the neurotransmitter that activates, that tells your skeletal muscles to work, to fire, to come on. But it also helps in focus. And the more focused you are, the more acetylcholine your body is able to produce. So when you focus with your mind and you focus into the muscle that you're working, you're able to produce and stimulate more muscle fibers with the acetylcholine that you're producing, which means the more muscle you use, the more muscle you break down, the more you're able to build, the more gains you get. So slow it down. Building muscle is like having great sex. Slow it down. Slow it down. Slow down. Take your time. Enjoy the workout. Enjoy the movements. Really focus on what you're doing. Really feel that squeeze. And as you feel that squeeze, you're going to feel that pump. And the pump, we all know what Arnold said about the pump. The pump is where it's at. So take your time. Take your time. Slow down. Really focus on what you're doing, especially as you've got these higher rep ranges, as you've got more reps to do, as your ranges increase. You really want to focus on that movement, because the more pump you can get, the more work you can get in, the more squeezes. Instead of just trying to hammer and go as fast as possible, the more tension you put on the muscle. And that's really what the mind-muscle connection is. That's what slowing down does. It increases the time your muscle is under tension. The more tension your muscle has, the more it gets broken down, the more it has to be repaired, the more gains you get. This one is a little bit of a personal thing. One reason that you might not be gaining the muscle that you want, get off your fucking phone. Now look, I am guilty of this. I get on Facebook, I post, I don't check email, try not to. Tons of things I try not to do. I try to leave my phone over to the side. I've got my headphones on. I'm focused. I'm doing my workout, but I still pick up my phone. I Snapchat occasionally. I take some video. I do this. I do that. But the problem with your phone is you're resting way, way too much. Now, rest outside of the gym, yes, that's important. Rest inside of the gym when it comes to building muscle is just as important. Bodybuilders have it right. When it comes to really getting that pump, to really eliciting that hypertrophy in your muscle, which is just the swelling of the muscle tissue to where it's bigger, the shorter your rest periods are, the more of a pump you're going to get, the more swollen that muscle is going to be, the more that pump's going to stay with you afterwards, and you're going to be at home being like, oh my God, my shoulders, yeah, my biceps. You're going to have that perma pump, as we gym bros call it. So get off your phone. Keep your rest period short. If you're using your phone as a timer, that's fine. But put it on airplane mode so you can't check Facebook. So you can't do any of that. So keep those rest periods shorter. Get off your phone. Your phone could really be hampering. While you're texting and Facebooking and Snapchatting and doing all this, it could be hampering your ability to build really great muscle because you're not keeping your rest periods short enough. They're too long. Those are most of what I have. The 4 reasons you're not you're not gaining muscle. Beyond the obvious, you need to lift heavy weight or you need to lift weights. You're not going to gain muscle on the treadmill. But that's pretty much the big boulders that I see people not moving, the big issues I see people having as well when it comes to not building muscle. There are things that I suffered from. I didn't keep my rep ranges in the right way. I was on my phone too much. And I wasn't keeping my workouts, in the right time frame. I wasn't giving myself enough time, wasn't giving myself enough rest. I was doing too much too quick. And that's really sort of the second or the last optional thing I will tell you. You're being too impatient. You expect that you're going to go in and in 2 weeks, you're going to walk out swole looking like Captain America. It takes time. I was on a bulk from September until the 1st of February last year. And honestly, I didn't see the size and the real size come on until right around Christmas. And even after Christmas, I didn't see the real size get packed on. I didn't notice it. Others maybe have noticed it, but I didn't. So don't be impatient. Focus on the process. Focus on what you're doing. Don't make the mistakes that I've mentioned, in this episode so far. Get the volume in, get plenty of the work, slow it down, get plenty of sleep. Make sure you're eating enough. Keep those rep ranges varied. Keep your rest period short. Stay off your phone and stay consistent. When you're consistent, you'll see those gains. So don't be impatient. Don't think that it's going to happen overnight. And don't expect it to happen in 2 months. It might be a long bulk. So that's okay. Take your time, enjoy it, and have fun and enjoy that pump. Because the pump, my friends, the pump is where it's at. And you're going to end those workouts feeling swole, feeling awesome. So those are the 8 reasons that you're not gaining muscle. So this winter, when you're on your bulk, take these reasons and do the opposite. Make sure that you are getting plenty of volume. Make sure that you're getting plenty of sleep and you're recovering. Slow it down. Take time. Enjoy the workouts. Keep your rest period short. Keep your rep ranges between 10 and 20 reps. Overall, between 60 to 80 reps, maybe 100 reps for some things if you want to venture that way. Make sure you're eating enough and stay consistent. You do all of that, and by the time spring rolls around, when the winter of 2016 has passed, you will find that you have gotten the gains, you've caught them, you've snuck up on them, and you're a lot more swole than you were last year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And remember, as you're going out through life, as you're going through your bulk this winter, as you're trying to level up your physique, get out there and kick ass at life.
Step up and you gotta get it fitness. Host Rob at the moment and the quest is you gotta check it and wreck it. You're breaking personal records and with the help of the guests you won't be guessing on the lessons. That's a +5 fierce. Got a low-key band right here. You wanna meet him, there's no better way to greet him than to strike a boss pose. Take a look into the mirror.